Have you ever felt stuck? Like you know exactly what you should be doing, but somehow you just can't get started. You keep telling yourself, I'll do it later, but later never seems to come. The weight of that task, that dream, it just feels too heavy. It feels like laziness has its grip on you, and no matter how hard you try, you can't seem to break free. Well, what if I told you that laziness isn't the real problem? There's a deeper secret behind it, and today, I'm going to reveal it to you. In this video, I'm going to show you the real secret to overcoming that feeling. It's not about pushing yourself harder or trying to force motivation. It's about understanding what's really holding you back and how to break free from it once and for all. Keep watching, and you'll walk away from this video knowing exactly what's been holding you back and how to finally take control of it. Ready? Let's dive in. So let's get real for a second. Laziness is something we all deal with. We've all been there, right? We wake up with a head full of good intentions. We tell ourselves, today's the day I'm going to clean the garage, or today is the day I start writing my book. But somehow, before we know it, hours have slipped by. We've spent an hour scrolling on our phones, another hour binge watching that new series on Netflix, and suddenly the day is almost over. Those tasks, those dreams, they just keep piling up, and yet we can't seem to move. We feel this immense pressure to be productive, to get things done, but there's a disconnect between what we want to do and what we actually do. It's so easy to fall into the trap of blaming ourselves. We start to think, I'm just lazy, or I lack self-discipline. What if it's just the surface? A symptom of something much deeper going on inside of us. Why is it so incredibly hard to get started sometimes? Is it really just about being lazy, or could there be something more? Something that's quietly sabotaging our best intentions from behind the scenes? What if I told you that overcoming laziness wasn't about forcing yourself to push harder or waiting for that magical burst of motivation? Nope, the truth is, it's about understanding the real reason why you are avoiding the task in the first place. You're not lazy. You're experiencing task aversion, an element of mental fatigue. Sometimes you're physically tired. Your brain is overloaded. Tasks feel boring, distant, and unrewarding. Your mind whispers, not now, later. And when you don't act, guilt builds up. This inner critic gets louder and louder, making us feel even worse, which in turn makes it even harder to get started. It becomes a vicious cycle of inaction, guilt, and more inaction. But laziness? That's just the surface. Here's the part most people never talk about. Laziness is often a mask for fear. Yeah, you heard me right. It's not that you don't want to succeed or that you're unmotivated. It's that you're afraid. It's the fear of failing and looking foolish. It's the fear of not being good enough, of pouring your heart and soul into something only to have it fall flat. Sometimes it's even the fear of succeeding and not being able to handle the new pressures or expectations that come with it. It's not that you don't want to succeed, but you're afraid to try. Think about it for a moment. When you're about to start a new project or tackle a big goal, what's the first thought that pops into your head? Is it an empowering, I've got this, I can do it? Or is it a nagging, doubtful whisper that says, what if I mess this up? What if I fail? What if people laugh at me? That voice of fear is incredibly powerful. It's the fear of failure that freezes us in our tracks. Our mind, in an attempt to protect us from potential pain and disappointment, tells us to avoid the task altogether. It's safer to do nothing at all than to risk the sting of failure. And what happens next? Procrastination sets in and we label it laziness. It's not that you don't want to succeed. It's that you're afraid of the possibility of failure. So your mind tells you to avoid it, to put it off. But here's the thing you need to know. The turning point in this whole struggle. The real secret to overcoming laziness isn't about fighting fear head-on with brute force or trying to will it away. It's much simpler and more powerful than that. It's about taking action. Simple, small, almost laughably tiny actions. It's about starting, even when you don't feel ready. I know it sounds almost too easy to be true, but it is. When you take even the smallest step forward, like writing just one sentence of that report, sending just one email, or cleaning one dish in the sink, you break the cycle of fear and inaction. That tiny action sends a powerful signal to your brain. Hey, I'm moving. I'm in control. Fear can't stop you if you're already in motion. It's not about doing everything perfectly right from the start. It's just about starting. So the next time you feel that heavy weight of overwhelm, that paralysis we call laziness, I want you to forget about the entire mountain you have to climb. Don't even look at it. Instead, just focus on taking one single tiny step. Just do one thing, and then watch what happens. Watch how that one small step begins to build a bridge over the chasm of fear. Let me share a story with you. There was a man named Thomas, a man who struggled just like you. He was a talented artist with big dreams of having his own gallery show. He had canvases, paints, and a studio filled with inspiration. But every time it was time to actually paint, he would freeze. The fear of his work not being good enough paralyzed him. The blank canvas felt like a judge, and all he did was procrastinate. He'd clean his brushes, organize his paints, anything to avoid the act of creation. The guilt piled up, and his dream felt further away each day. But one day, tired of the endless cycle, he decided to do something different. He made a choice. He decided to start small. Instead of trying to paint a masterpiece all at once, he picked one thing, just one small thing. He told himself, I'm just going to paint one single brush stroke. And he did it. The next day, he painted for 5 minutes. That was it. He didn't try to fix his entire life or conquer his fear in one grand gesture. He just did one small thing, then another. He sent an email to a local gallery, not asking for a show, but just asking a question. He organized one file of his portfolio. These small, non-threatening actions didn't feel overwhelming. And soon, those tiny, seemingly insignificant actions started to add up. They turned into consistent practice, which turned into finished paintings, which eventually led to his very first gallery show. Here's where the magic really happens. Momentum. That's the game changer. When you start with those small, manageable actions, it might feel insignificant at first. One brushstroke, one email, one paragraph. What difference does that really make? But as you keep moving, you start to gain speed. Each step builds upon the last, like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts small, but it grows bigger and faster with every rotation. Soon, you're not just taking one small action. You're building a habit, a new way of being. Momentum is the key to overcoming laziness because it creates a positive feedback loop. The more you do, even if it's small, the more confident you feel. You prove to yourself, hey, I can do this. And the more confident you feel, the more you're willing to do. It's a cycle that feeds itself, creating a powerful upward spiral. Thomas didn't wait for motivation to strike like lightning. He created it. With every small step, he built a little more confidence, and that confidence drove him forward, pushing the fear further and further into the background. And before he knew it, he had achieved the very thing he once thought was impossible. Momentum drives success. Now I know what you might be thinking. Okay, that all sounds great in theory, but what happens on those days when I still don't feel motivated? When even taking a small step feels impossible? That's a great question, and it's something everyone faces. So I'm going to share the trick that will keep you going even when motivation isn't there. Taking action, no matter how ridiculously small, and building momentum are great. But here's the part that turns momentum into transformation. Consistency. Consistency is what happens when you show up again tomorrow. Even if it's only for 2 minutes, even if you're tired, even if you don't feel motivated. Consistency turns small steps into habits. Habits turn into identity. Identity turns into permanent change. It's not about doing a lot. It's about doing a little regularly. Small actions create momentum. Momentum creates consistency. Consistency creates results. The core message I want you to take away today: laziness isn't a character flaw. So the next time you feel overwhelmed or stuck, don't look at the whole mountain. Don't aim for perfection. Just take one tiny step today and another tiny step tomorrow. Start small, build momentum, stay consistent, and watch as your life begins to transform. Remember, every single step forward is a victory. You've got this. Now that you know the real secret to overcoming laziness, it's time to take action and make progress today. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe for more motivational stories, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Now go out there and take that first step. This is life's whispered moments. Tune in for more stories that lighten your heart and brighten your journey.